Hi there, welcome to Subpar Stitches. My name is Hillary and this is my Flosstube channel. So today I have from May 15th to June 4th for you. So that's like 3 weeks because I just didn't feel like filming last week, I guess. I don't remember what my reason was, but I think I just came home and I was like, no, not doing it today. So I have a few things to show you. I've been a little bit slow on my stitching recently just because so much has been going on in my life. So hopefully this won't be too long of a video, but you never know. So let's go right to the FOs, the finished objects. And I have like 1 1/4 finished objects to show you. I have like a finish for now, but if you guys saw the thumbnail, you would have seen that I did in fact finish Candy by Whittier Stitches here. This is on a 28 count Sapphire Lugana by, or not Lugana, yeah, Lugana is even weave, and it's by Fiber on a Whim. And I will bring it in closer so you can see maybe if it focuses. There we go, some of the detail there. So this used a combination of DMC and Krynic and just some Mill Hill beads. And there was quite a bit of back stitching there. This is my first ever fancy lady. So I had saved all of the beading for last. And as I was doing it, I don't know if it was a me problem or if the fabric that I used was just like a little bit tighter than expected, but I kind of struggled with the beading in a way that I've never struggled before. Like for the smaller beads, there were some areas where I couldn't put as many as were in the pattern. And then for the bigger beads, I definitely couldn't put as many as were in the pattern. And I've never used beads this size before, to the point like they weren't fitting and they just looked really chunky and oversized in a way that I was like checking my little container of beads and the pattern like multiple times to make sure I didn't buy the wrong beads. But checks out, they're the right beads. They look really big. On camera, it doesn't look so bad, but like in person, I look at it and I'm just like, those beads are massive. I don't know. Don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's not really like my aesthetic. I'm not like a fairy person or, I mean, I guess she's not really a fairy, but maybe she is. She's got like kind of fairy looking ears. But I sent a picture to my mom and she liked it, so maybe I'll just frame it and give it to her because I don't know, like if I hang it up in here, like everything on my wall is pretty like, doesn't match, but this like extra doesn't match. But I am glad that I finished it. It's my first ever fancy lady, probably my last. I'm just not a person. I don't like stitching people that much, but I had to stitch her because she was a plus size fancy lady and I felt like that was really cool as far as representation goes, and I'm glad I finished it. I think it was around 15,000 stitches. The back stitch wasn't too bad, but there were some parts where like I had to do the back stitching and then just like walk away for a while and then come back and look at it again, because sometimes when I'm doing too much backstitch, I get really like hypercritical of myself and I'm like, oh, this looks so bad. And then the next day I come back and I'm like, oh, this looks fine. I don't know what my problem was, but it's done. And I still have quite a bit of fabric to use. I need to cut that off, but I don't know. Maybe I'm going to take this one to StitchCon for the brag table, I think. I think I need to iron it though. And then my finish for now is Nature's Journey Sal, right? Yeah, Nature's Journey. I keep wanting to call it like Nature Walk, but that's a different series by Sprouting Lupine. But this is also by Sprouting Lupine, and I'm doing it on 36 count Cold Foam by Bestitch Me. And here is the entire spring quarter. I really, really enjoyed this. A lot of color changes, like a lot, but I love this sal so far and I'm really excited. I am trying to stitch each season within like the actual season, so I started this on the first day of spring and my goal was to finish it before spring ended, and I did. And so now once summer starts, I will be coming over here and putting in the summer. I think the summer section is probably my favorite. The winter section is kind of like as a whole piece, this looks really pretty, but the winter section is a lot more like duller, like browns and stuff like that, which makes sense because it's winter, but I think it's going to be the least exciting one to stitch. But oops. Either way, I'm really liking how this looks so far, and I'm really excited for the first day of summer so I can get a little head start on this. So those are all my finished objects, but now I have my whips. I have 3 whips at like any given time going right now. This year I'm doing a small, medium, and a large whip. So I have like assigned days and times for each size. So the largest get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they were getting Thursdays too, but then I started doing the Nature's Journey thing, and so that gets Thursdays. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after work, this is what I work on, is my large project. And my previous one was Pokemon, which I finished, and then I took a couple weeks off of large projects, but now I'm back to the grindstone. And the current large project that I'm working on is the Nostalgic Tarot by the Witchy Stitcher. I had already finished the entire frame and the rainbow borders for all the cards. So now all I have left to do, all I have left to do, are the cards themselves. And I had finished card 0, which is the Fool. So I'm just going to do them in like numerical order because everything's out. And I had kind of started on card 1. If I have a picture, I'll pop it up here. But I had just started like the inner border because every card, so there's like a huge border around the outside of the piece, but then, and it's a double border, by the way, it's a huge double border. And then every card has a rainbow border, a white border, and a black border. So it's like triple borders there. So there was a lot going on. But I have started on card 1, which is the Magician. And you can see here, he's like a little rabbit. He is coming out of a hat. I started the hat. We've been watching Sopranos. I've been doing this. They're not related in any way. I just felt like I would say that, I guess. But for like the first 2 days of working on this, I was just doing like this like white and black double border and then the top and the bottom of the card. And that took like 2 solid days to do because there was like over 700 stitches and all of that. There's a lot of like little background stuff that I'm saving till the end because it's like a lot of like single stitches or like smaller pieces. So I want to get like the bulk part done first, and then I will do all the extra little stuff. And then I have to check the pattern, like the PDF, because I know most of them I think have just like a little bit of back stitching, and I use Pattern Keeper on my phone, which doesn't show the back stitching. So I don't know what the back stitching is. And this is all DMC. The only change I made was I think the white that's called for is 3865, and I have a cone of Blanc, and I was like, I'm not buying that much 3865 because the whole like outside border is the white color, and I was like, that's going to be so many skeins. I don't even want to consider that. And I have Blanc, and it like pretty much looks the same, so it'll be fine. So that's what I did there, and the big reason why I am doing them in numerical order rather than like the order they came out or like doing my favorites is I know that the anticipation of getting to my favorite cards will keep me chugging along on this. And if I just go through and I do all my favorites first, then I'm going to lose steam on it really fast. But one of the cards I'm excited for is number 3, which is Empress, and it's a possum. So I'm not that far from like one of my first ones that I'm excited for. There's one towards the bottom that I really want to do that's a big tooth. There's like the aliens, the classic like Lisa Frank looking aliens. So there's like lots to look forward to. And there's not any cards that I dislike. It's just, there's some that I just really like more than others. Like this one's not one of my favorites just because I just don't want to stitch all that white. I like a lot of colors. But I really liked the two-toned like ribbons up here, I think look really cool. And then you can see like the upside down cross on the rabbit's face. And he's got like a little bow tie on. There's going to be a couple of like magician's wands on either side, I believe. So really enjoying this. Not living for, like I have cut the fabric and I left a pretty big margin because I want to have it finished as like a tapestry, but I don't know how big of a margin someone would need to sew that. So, but there is quite a bit of extra fabric management here that is not enjoyable. Oh, I forgot to tell you the fabric. It's a 14 count black Ada by probably DMC. Yeah, DMC. So it's a big ol' boy, but I don't have too much. I think the next, not this coming week because I'll be going to StitchCon on Wednesday, but by the next update, I think I will have finished this card and moved on to the second one. So, or card, well, third card, but card number 2. So that leads me into my medium project, which is what I work on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And since I finished Candy, which was a medium project, I've moved on to my next one, which is Colors of Summer by, I think, Stitchrovia? I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure it's Stitchrovia. I found this in a Just Cross Stitch magazine. And I'm doing this on a 40 count avocado by Bestitch Me, 1/2, all DMC. I've made some alterations, but not like a ton. It's just because this was like classic British colors of spring, and like some of the stuff just didn't apply to me, so I changed a couple. And I didn't get super far since the last time you guys saw it, but that's just because I had a weird weekend. I don't know. So I didn't get a ton in. But here is what it looks like. So the last time I was right there. I had started this one, which this is a wicker basket. And then the green one is apples and pears. This one, on the pattern, they called it a rocket lolly, and it was, it's like red, orange, and yellow, but we have bomb pops in the US, and they're like red, white, and blue, and so I just changed it to that because I don't know what a rocket lolly is. I'm assuming it's probably like the same concept. I actually hate bomb pops. I think they're gross. I don't like the taste of them. The only popsicles I like banana popsicles, which I know is weird. I don't know why I like those. And I like the chocolate ones. So, and then this next one that I'm working on that I started, did 2 rows, and then I was like, done, is going to be Summer Rain. I changed this one too. This one was a lime cordial, which I'm assuming is like an alcoholic drink. I don't know what I changed it to. I'll have to look at my own pattern because it's been that long. But I'm doing every single season. So I finished spring. This is the summer, and I'm doing them all on 40 count Bestitch Me's that I got from when I was in the Fabric Club. I would love to join again. I just need money. Someone give me money. But there's 6 rows. So I'm on the 4th. I got to put in the back stitching, and then I'll have 2 more rows. Not too much left. Really, it's like a simple pattern because it's just like a big block. But the problem was I was bringing this to work, and like 40 count at work just wasn't like enjoyable. So I prefer to do this in my stand at home. And then my last project that I've been working on is my small, which I do at work, like on lunch or if I have downtime. And I keep it in this little bag that I got when I was at Stitch North. I'm obsessed with this bag. Like, this is like so cute. Love the fabric, and it's like fits in my bag perfectly. The little nerd hoop, it doesn't fit necessarily, but I clipped it in so it stays within the realm of the bag. But this is Ope by Shitpost Samplers, and I tried to check their website. I can't remember if I mentioned this last time. I tried to check their website to see if they had anything new, and their website's just gone. I don't know. I want them to come back. I love all their stuff. So here is, it's really mangled. But here is where I'm at. So I finished the O. I started on the P, and I have had like maybe 100 to 200 stitches a day, and I'm not making the progress I want. And I thought, like, am I just like over cross stitching right now? Like, is that what's happening to me? Which scared me a little bit. But then I come home and I put like 500 to 800 stitches in like whatever projects in my stand. So I think I'm just like not feeling this one, which is weird because I like it and I want it done. I just am not enjoying stitching it. And I think part of it is the Aida. I hate this Aida. It sucks so bad. No matter what kind of needle I use, it's just like, what is the Aida? It's literally 18 count white Aida by DMC. So you'd think it wouldn't be that problematic, but it's just stressing me out for some reason. And the original design uses like pink and yellow, and it reminded me of lemonade, and I also don't like lemonade, so I was like, I'm gonna change the colors and so I just went through my drawers and I picked a couple colors that I thought looked fun together. I was really worried that I was not going to have enough space, but I counted, and I do have enough space with a 2-inch margin at the bottom. So I don't know, I just visually, it just visually looks like it's not gonna fit, or I guess it's like a 1.5-inch margin, but I'm not even halfway done. This is not even at 50%. I think I'm going to take this one to StitchCon with me, and maybe doing it in the stand will be easier. And if not, then I guess I will need to reassess. And then I want this in like a fun frame, but there's no way there's like a frame that's like standard for this. So I'm going to have to probably like special order a frame. So those were my whips. I'll probably have way more to show you next time just because I have a few like planned starts for StitchCon and stuff like that. So let's just hop into haul. So 2 weeks ago at this point, I was in Las Vegas to see my in-laws, and I was like, I really want to go to Stitcher's Paradise because last time I was in Vegas, I wasn't even aware that was a thing. And then I found out it was a thing, and then we just hadn't been back to Vegas in so long. And so when we got there, I told my husband, I was like, I really want to go, and like, I'll just Uber over there. It's 15 minutes away from your parents' place. It's fine. But his parents really wanted to go, and then everybody wanted to see it. And so then I couldn't really like take a lot of pictures or film or anything because I was like explaining so much to everybody else. But I did get to do a little bit of shopping, and I got this fun little purple bag. And so I will show you all the stuff that I got. So first of all, I love at like stitching shops, like all the button bins. I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but I was obsessed with them. They're teeth. They're teeth-shaped buttons. And my husband, as soon as I pulled them out, he was like, seriously? And I was like, listen, you complained that I put real teeth onto a project. So, like, this is, you know, for next time. Also, I ran out of human teeth, so I need other teeth. And then, let's see. They just, like, had this. It says, like, welcome to Las Vegas. And I was like, well, I'm here. I might as well get it. I don't know if, when, why I would stitch this, but I just thought it was like kind of a like more of a souvenir piece than anything. And then I got a couple of patterns, and these were like, my husband picked them out. He was like, oh, those are good. So the first one was this one by Just Nan, and this is I should just take it out, huh? The Pentagon ball, and he saw it and he was like, that's cool. And I had never actually seen this pattern. I'm really only mostly familiar with the mice, but he was like, you have to get that. That one's really unique. What was this? It was like $35. And it has like all the beads and like little attachments and stuff, but I really like unusually finished stuff, so Just Nan is great for that. And like whenever my husband finds a pattern cool, I'm like extra interested in stitching it just because he's like, cross stitch is not his thing. So when he finds it interesting, I'm like, okay. And then the other pattern, he saw this and like came up to me and was like, I think we need this. And it's the Funky Chickens by Satsuma Street. And then when I told him, I was like, oh, you know, on the bottom, they have stuff on the butt, right? So it says like what the cluck on this one. And he extra doubled down and was like, we have to get that. And I was like, what is this we? Like, there's no we involved. Actually, there is financially. There's a financial we. But I was like, I'm the one who's got to make these, right? But he loves animals. He loves birds. He loves chickens a lot. And so I just thought, and this is one that has kind of been on my list for a while too, of like something that I wanted to stitch, because again, it's like an unusual finishing style. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then this isn't a cross stitch pattern, but it's like a beading kit, and it's like a little, I don't know why I keep holding up the plastic like that's helpful, but it's called No Tricks Here Jack-o'-lantern Phone Fob by the Fern Ridge Collections, and it's a beading style. This one's, I think it's peyote beading. From what I've been learning, there's like peyote stitch, and then there's like a brick stitch, and that's as far as I've gotten in learning. But I want to, you know, I need another hobby, like I need a hole in my head, but I really want to get into like beading because I think it's really interesting, and I don't want to go out and buy a bunch of stuff, try it out, and realize I don't like it. So I thought buying this little kit, testing it out, seeing how I do and if I actually enjoy it, and then I can go spend $8,000 on supplies. And then I just bought a couple pieces of fabric. So the first one I got is a 32 count ice blue Belfast linen. I don't think she wrote who it was by, who dyed it, but This is just a fat quarter, and I'm going to be stitching its 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock, or it's 5 o'clock somewhere, by ink circles for my husband's parents, and making it into an actual clock. And I figured, like, Rob and I picked out the fabric together. So that was for that one. And then this is, picture this plus linen, and it is called Swamp, and it's a 32 count. Bruh. This, I held it up and my husband was like, ew, that's disgusting. And I was like, exactly, I love it. Like, it's this like murky browny green. Don't know what I'm going to put on there, but I couldn't walk out of there without it. So I didn't get like I mean, it was kind of expensive, but like I didn't get like a ton of stuff because, you know, I blew most of my budget at Stitch North, but I got everything that I wanted. So I guess that takes us into plans, which right now my plan is to keep with my current small, medium, large schedule and not really divert from that too much outside of StitchCon, where I have a few projects I want to start. And in order to plan for StitchCon, I used my brand new cross stitch retreat journal by Boomerang Stitches. This is like a custom colorway. I think she can do like any kind of custom colorway, and then it's got my name on it, and it has like my handles down there. It says Subpar Stitches. But it's a really cool journal where you can, like, it's got space for 12 retreats, and then it's got like virtual retreat section and things like that. But I went through and I kind of filled out everything here. So there's like a details section. There's no refreshments at StitchCon. Lame. But you can check off like what kind of activities there are. So I put like brag table, freebie table, swag bag, what kind of amenities, so what kind of lighting or electricity. And then for plans, I have like on my travel plans, I'm leaving at 10, right? Yeah, leaving at 10. Well, actually I might leave earlier because I have to go pick up Tara at the airport. For restaurants to try, I put Skyline Chili on there because I gotta get that dog food slop every time I go. For local attractions, I didn't put anything because it's, you know, literally who cares, it's Ohio. And then let's see what else. There's like a schedule page, so you can plan out your whole week there, which I've utilized. Like you can see, yeah, here we go. On Wednesday, my handwriting is so thin. I plan to like leave at 8:30, try to get to Craft Gallery by 10:50, leave there by noon so that I can get to the airport in time to pick up Tara. There's like a section where like anything you need to do to prep. It's not really prepping necessarily for the retreat that I wrote, but it's like I gotta get a haircut, I gotta paint my nails, I gotta do my laundry, like stuff like that. Things to pack. I put like what I want to put on the brag table, giveaway patterns. I put my hearing aids on there. I always forget to bring my hearing aids anywhere and everywhere because I don't like to wear them because I don't like to hear. I don't know. Maybe some people think that's weird, but it's like when you went like 20 plus years not hearing and then you finally get hearing aids, you're like, oh, this is annoying. I don't want to listen to anything. And then for projects, I liked this section over here where it's like either it's a start, a whip, or something you like plan to finish, or maybe it already was finished. I don't know. I took that as plan to finish. So I have like this frog purse pattern that I want to bring. I want to bring It's 5 o'clock and Pigeon and Puddle, and those are like 3 that I want to start. I'm going to bring Ope and Colors of Summer, which are 2 of my current projects that are whips. And then I have this like little ornament, Noël en Rouge. It's the last of the set, so I want to just finish that there so that I can just give that pattern away. And then there's a little budget section. So I put my budget for like meals, and then for shopping, and then it says like there's like a pre-order section, but I didn't have any pre-orders. And then as I go throughout the weekend, my plan is to put everything that I buy in here, so that way I can get like a good look of like what I'm actually spending at a retreat, what a retreat should or can cost me, and that way I can better like save for the future retreats. And then there's a Stitchy Kindness page. So there's a spot for table gifts. If you're doing the smalls exchange, which I'm not this year, any kind of Stitchy Kindness. So this will be helpful to fill out as I go for like my video. And then there's a spot to write in your table mates. So I wrote the 4 that I know, which is Tara from Wild Woman Crafts, Erin and Amity of the Hathaway Stitchers, and then Chandria from Chandria Carol. She doesn't post enough for me to remember her dang Flosstube channel. I'm pretty sure it's Chandria Carol or Chandria Carol Creates. I'm sorry, Chandria, I don't recall. And then there's like a spot for Sal's stitch-alongs, and we're going to need that because we always start something together. And then it goes to the next page, which is the next retreat. So I am using this, and I can't wait to get more use out of it when I go to the retreat. And then I got my favorite pet in here, which is, just in case anyone cares, it's, I don't know how you say this, is it Slicky? It's by Pentel, and it's 0.25 nib, which I love. So excited to use that. And then I'll just do a quick reading, watching, playing. So haven't read anything. I keep borrowing books from the library and then not reading them and then having to return them. So I guess I'm just like done with that for a minute. Watching, I finally finished Boardwalk Empire. I didn't like the ending, but overall I really liked the series. I just felt like the ending was really, really rushed. But it took like a year and a half to get my husband to restart it. And we finally like get back into watching it. And then he wants to start it all over from the beginning. He always does this with shows. He's like, well, let's just start it from the beginning. I'm like, no, pick up where we left off. And then we also finished Righteous Gemstones, which was another one where he just kept putting it off and putting it off. And I was like, Robert, if you don't watch this with me right now, I'm watching it by myself. And again, I didn't like the ending so much because it felt like it was just all over the place, but this series is so funny. And I'm obsessed with Judy, she's the daughter, because you never get these like freak, foul-mouthed women characters usually, or they're just not as common, at least in the media that I watch. So I just really resonated with her. And then we have restarted The Sopranos, and we are doing what my husband calls Sopranos maxing. Don't know what that is, but there's a lot of him saying the words gabagool. So, and then I've just been playing a ton of Raccoon. I can't stop. I broke my rule of not playing it during the week, and that's been going badly for my stitching because I can't stop playing it. So that's it. That's all I got. This was a short one. I feel like I just have no energy. So that's going to be it from me. I will be back hopefully in 2 weeks, depending on how badly I lose my voice at StitchCon. We'll see. It seems to be a trend. Whenever I go to a retreat, I lose my voice for like a week and a half. But I'm excited to just go stitch with my friends. I'm excited to see them, even though I just saw them last month. And I'm sad because I won't see them again for a while because it's our last big retreat together until probably sometime next year, which sucks. But yeah, hopefully I start a lot of new stuff and make some progress, and I hope I can finish that dang ope because I'm sick of that fabric. But anyways, if you're going to StitchCon Weekend A, let me know. Maybe we can, wave at each other, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.